let's talk about the recently evicted housemates. Now, for those of you that have followed me for a long time, I'm sure you have noticed how I have sort of ignored the media rounds of the evicted housemates. Now, it's not by mistake. It is quite intentional. I've been very intentional about avoiding discussing their media rounds. And that is because we know for a fact that when it comes to Brother Naija housemates, their tendency to lie is over 1,000%. The moment they come out of the house, they probably get, intel from their management or maybe their fan base, and then they realize that, oh my God, I goofed whilst in the house. Oh my God, I said XYZ whilst in the house. And then boom, the moment the media rounds begin, they begin to, contradict themselves with regards to the many things that they said and did in the house. And if you ask me, I'll tell you that has been the case for TJ and Shaun since they started their media rounds yesterday. I came across some of their conversations online, and guys, it's a lot. It's a lot. The one that's shocking me the most is TJ, Dr. TJ. And I'm going to be spilling some of the things I picked from, from their media rounds, and we're going to discuss it on this video. As far as I'm concerned, the only person that has been keeping it real, that has been very consistent, that has kept the same energy from the house to outside is Handi. Handi has just been making me proud. Oh, and there was actually a revelation with regards to that situation with Ben. We're also going to discuss that, because when Ben was evicted, when he was having his media rounds, he had actually made some very bold declarations, about wanting to sue Handi and Wani, for that thing they said he did to Handi. So Handi has got a rebuttal for him. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this video. We are going to be discussing these things, yeah? And I would love to hear your thoughts about it. But in the meantime, please make sure you watch this video to the end. Do not skip out on any part so you do not miss out on anything, all right? And you're all especially welcome to my channel. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. Without further ado, guys, let's just quickly dive right into the details of this conversation. First off, beginning with Handi. One recurring question in all of our media rounds is her relationship with Ruthie. Yeah, so there's been the question of, oh, are you open to reconciliation? What if she comes to apologize to you? Would you accept? Are you guys going to be friends again? Questions like that, amongst many others. And her one reply, which has been consistent, is that the only way she will be open to reconciliation with Ruthie is if Ruthie provides all the receipts of all the allegations, all the things that she accused, her and her sister of. That is the only way. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you think about it, that's to tell you that there is no room for reconciliation. Because how do you provide receipts for all of those things? How? One would have expected that the moment Ruthie and DJ Flo were evicted from the house, to back up her bold claims, that she would have gone ahead to release the receipts, because for the major part of her media rounds, she had been on a stage 2 smear campaign of the twin sisters. It was towards the latter stage, it seemed as though maybe their management had actually advised them to tone it down. That was when they had actually managed to tone it down. But it's been a lot, it's been hectic. And if you ask me, I will tell you that I do not blame Handi for saying what she said. Because let me tell you all what Ruthie did that a lot of people did not understand. I know that we've actually analyzed the situation a lot, yes, but I think this is one information I did not mention. In saying all of those things that she said, all of those bold claims about the sisters being prostitutes, about them carrying out incest outside the house and inside the house with Shaun, amongst the many other vile things that she had said about the sisters, here's what Ruthie was doing, whether she was aware or not. Ruthie was actually leveraging on the toxic cancel culture in the Nigerian society against female success. What do I mean? In this society, in this part of the world, half the time when a woman is successful, half the time when a woman has easy access to places that on a normal day would be very difficult for, a lot of people to have access to, the first interpretation that comes to mind, that's people that have that low thinking mind, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, they actually opened their legs to whoever is in charge. Oh, they were selling their vagina, for easy access, for money, for whatnot. Now, this is not to say that it doesn't happen. It actually does happen. As a matter of fact, there are evidences that it happens a lot, But was it fair that Ruthie had used that cancel culture, that language, to try to water down the growth, the effort of the twin sisters? Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. And that is why, the sisters, if they're going to be vindictive, well, I can't really be upset about it, because this is the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry most of the time is not really kind to women. Women in this society have to do a lot to get into the entertainment industry. And even if you get into the entertainment industry, you work 10 times harder to maintain that stance you've got in there. You work 10 times harder to get respect, to earn respect. So it is crazy on this side. Now, it's probably the same thing all over the world, I don't know, but it's allowed to allege that, some women use the power of connections to get to certain places, especially in the entertainment industry in Nigeria. But now zeroing it or narrowing it down, to a sexual transaction, for fame, it can completely soil a person's reputation for life. It can. And there are so many women in the Nigerian entertainment industry that is dealing with that stigma today. Some of them, it started as way back as 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It is still the stories on their name. No matter what they have achieved today, no matter what they have done, no matter where they have gone, it is still the story on their neck, on their back, that they are still carrying till today. So the stigma is real. Hence the reason when Handi was giving that particular condition, in response to those questions during our interviews, I just could not blame her. Because somehow you have to redeem yourself at the end of the day. It's the receipts that will, help her redeem herself. No matter what she does, there are people that will still refer back to those things that Ruthie said. So if that is her own way of trying to redeem her image and her sister's image, well, so be it for them. But I do hope that somehow they find common ground, to resolve this whole drama, because it is just too toxic. Now, moving on to Shaun. Ladies and gentlemen, for some weird reason, or maybe reasons that are very, very obvious and glaring, Shaun has all of a sudden started trying to rewrite the narrative, his narrative with Wani. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this young man, during most of his interviews, has been going on about how he likes Wani, he respects her. There was even one that he was talking about, oh, she's got a banging body. I'm like, okay. And the he's also been talking about how he was the only respectful guy that had a respectful ship in that house, because he did not disrespect Wani in any way, because he did not want a situation where Wani's parents, or rather family, are watching the show on TV and then they see how he's, maltreating or disrespecting their daughter. So he really put his effort. Guys, I was listening to Shaun, and you see the way Yika was lying yesterday during her diary session. My reactions, that was the same way I was reacting towards Shaun's, explanations during his interviews. And guys, I almost gagged, because I was listening to this guy. I'm like, Shaun, do you think we actually watched the back of our televisions? Like, do you think there are people that did not really watch the show? You think we actually watched it on, like, really? Hey, God. Ladies and gentlemen, so here's the deal, yeah? Here's the deal. Something I've noticed. Shaun's definition of respect towards Wani is that he did not flirt with or chase any other female in the house. That's his own definition of respect. His own definition of respect is that during the parties, he doesn't dance with anybody else. He just stays glued to Wani. That's his own definition of respect. And I looked at this guy and I had a good laugh. Because I'm like, Shaun, we're not dumb. Maybe there are those fanatics in certain fan base that are very, very delusional. You know, for them, the moment they see two people kiss, they're in love. They love each other so much. The guy respects the girl. See, not dancing with any other girl at a party does not equate to love, admiration, and respect. Why? Because it's Big Brother's house. Everybody dances with everybody, even people in the most serious ships in the house. They dance with everybody, depending on how they dance with other people. So Shaun coming to come and claim that he did not disrespect Wani. I say, Shaun, have you forgotten how you completely talked down on this girl several times to your friends? I mean, guys, I will never forget in a hurry Shaun's look of disgust most of the time when Wani comes around him, you know, when she is snuggling in for a kiss, for cuddles, you know, his body language that tells that he's kind of disgusted with this girl, like he cannot just stand her. It was after Ebuka questioned both of them that Shaun started trying to, you know, adjust. And then that ridiculous dramatic display of tears, forced tears he had during his diary session when he was worried about people's perception of him because he had been so carried away with how he was behaving towards this girl. So he was really concerned. Now I went into the diary, I'm going to say, I don't know what people think about me, this, that. But still, it did not stop him from being mean to this girl. Unrequited love, unreciprocated energy. Or is it that Shaun thinks that we do not know that his body language and all of those things in itself is also a lot of disrespect to this girl? I mean, guys, see, this is why I avoid these people's, you know, media rounds, because they just tell so many lies. And sometimes you can't even blame the interviewers, because some of the interviewers, most of them, they don't even watch the show. Like, they're not really invested in the show. Most of them, they just give them curated questions, and it is from those questions they ask their own questions. So most of them, they can't really probe, because watching the whole thing, Shaun was telling blatant lies. People could not really probe, and it was just tiring. But anyways, quickly moving on to TJ. You see that one, eh? Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. TJ's one was hectic. So this guy, in talking about the whole triangle situation going on between Ozzy, Onyeka, and Victoria, TJ during his media rounds was claiming that the three of them wanted that threesome, that triangle. And the moment he said that, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I almost choked on what I was eating at that point in time. Because I'm like, but TJ, this is not the same narrative you gave whilst in the house. In the house, you were stating categorically and very, very confidently that you knew that the reason Onyeka was malicious towards Victoria is because of Ozzy, but she's hiding it and, you know, acting like she doesn't know what she's doing. And then there was a part where you said that, oh, Onyeka enjoys victim blaming a lot and, you know, she does this. So why are you changing the narrative now? Now, aside that one, there was a question that was thrown to him. I think this one was thrown to him by Ebuka. And Ebuka had asked him that, looking at his relationship with Ozzy now, them by the way twins, if Ben and Ozzy were in the house at this point in time, who was he going to vote for? This guy said he was going to vote for Ozzy, not Ben. Guys, I was speechless. I was speechless because first, it wasn't enough that this guy, this TJ himself, this guy, it wasn't enough that this guy had announced that he had chosen the Ndi twins to be the godfathers of his twin babies, disregarding his friendship with Ben. And I want to believe that this guy has other people that are friends with him in his life, right? But we're talking about Ben, who he said is his very good friend, his best friend, they love each other so much, completely removing Ben from the equation and automatically giving that title of godfathers, you know, to the Ndi twins. And then, in response to Ebuka's question, saying that he would vote for Ozzy over Ben. And when Ebuka asked him why, he said then because Ozzy was very outgoing, Ozzy was all over the place, Ozzy had good relationships with people. In fact, his response did not even carry flesh and blood. His response was all bones, very, very, you know, just dry, bereft of flesh. I was thinking he was going to actually give a more personalized reason, but he did not have a personalized reason. And right there and then, the only conclusion I had was that TJ is the snake that he labeled Kelly Ray to be. He's the snake. Because how do you throw your friendship under the bus and start giving allegiance and support to somebody you just met on the show? And then somebody was coming to come and, you know, comment, was it on Twitter or where, that, oh, Ben has been disrespectful towards TJ from the beginning. I say, wow, are you people watching the show at all? Was it not the same TJ that every time they lost in the arena whilst they were duos in the house, he would be angry at Ben, he would be attacking Ben, and Ben would be feeling bad, and he would be acting like, oh, I didn't say anything wrong, very unremorseful. Is it the same TJ people are talking about? You know, right there and then, ladies and gentlemen, the only conclusion I could draw out of TJ's, you know, response to that particular question was that this guy is only after the connection, period. There's nothing anybody would tell me. Someone was coming to come and tell me on Twitter that, it's quite ridiculous to think that TJ wants to be friends with Ndi twins because of connection, that TJ is also made. I said, look at this one. Are you not thinking at all? Are you not using your brain? Have you ever seen wealthy people be desperate to be friends with poor people or people that are not as wealthy as them? Have you ever seen people that have made it in life, people that are wealthy, have you ever seen them make desperate moves and attempts to connect with people that are not on the same level as them? Is it not the same TJ that says he and Cassia, they are not on the same level, you know, and Cassia is not a cup of tea, in the most derogatory and condescending manner? Why? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we know why. I mean, it's very obvious that this guy desperately is seeking connection with the Ndi twins for whatever reason. Because, of course, he's planning on transitioning between Nigeria and the UK. So, for him, what better way to have a smooth transition into the Nigerian system all over again? The Ndi twins, they've got connections. They've got legs in the right places. And he knows. He was even the one that came to spew to the whole house that these guys are the richest people in the house. Why would he make such a statement? In other words, he has known these people for a while, probably done a study on their life. Hence the reason why in the house, you will see how this guy, most of the time, he's always trying to force himself into conversations with them Ndi twins. He always wants to be around them. He always wants to talk to them. But most of the time, you will see that those ones too, they have other people that they want to connect with. But TJ would always look for a way to want to insert himself wherever the Ndi twins are. I mean, it was during TJ's media rounds that it all started adding up to me. All those things I saw him doing, all those sneaky moves I saw him making in the house. Now it makes more sense. And I wonder how Ben is going to take all of this. In fact, am I even feeling sorry for Ben? No, I'm not even feeling sorry for Ben. I'm not at all feeling sorry for Ben. Why? Because that one too was begging Ozzy for connection outside the house. So all of them, they're all begging for connection with Ndi twins. They're all looking for connection everywhere. And am I mad about it? No. The only thing I'm mad about is how they pretend that they are not. How they pretend that that is not what they are craving. How they pretend, how they act like they actually have a mind of their own. Whereas, whatever decisions they are making in that house, it is all engineered by their lust, by their craving for connection to be a part of the Ndi twins' lives. Take it anywhere you want to take it to. That's what it is. I said what I said. Now, finally, about the Handi and Ben's allegation. Handi's response to Ben's threat of suing her and her sister is that he should bring it on. Whatever he wants to do, she's ready for it. That she still stands by her claims. That she's a woman. She knows her body. She knows when a man is touching her inappropriately. She knows when something happens to her body, that she stands on her words. Now, her backup to that claim is that after she had said what she said, one of those Saturday night parties, Ben was obviously tipsy. So he had come, he was whispering in her ears, he was apologizing to her and begging her and saying that, oh, Andy, please forgive me. You know, it's not in my nature to do that. It's not in my character. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. And she had decided that, okay, fine, I'm going to forget about it. But now that she's out of the house and she's hearing this, she wishes Big Brother would release the footage to keep to put everything to rest. Because now she's ready for whatever Ben wants to do. Ben, during his own media rounds, was claiming that Handi was laying false accusations against him, that she wants the organizers to release the footage, that he has been demanding for the footage, and they have been saying he should come and they will give him, but they've not released it yet. So for him, his hands are tied, his hands are tied. It's only the footage that would help him sue them to court for false accusations and allegations. So ladies and gentlemen, I mean, inside the house, it was a dicey situation. Outside the house, it's still very dicey. The only person I blame in all of this is Big Brother. If Big Brother had released the footages, at least it would have put all of these things to rest. Because the question is now, who is still lying? Who's telling the truth? I guess we'll never know. It's only if and when that footage is released, that's when us, the viewers, can actually deduce for ourselves who is actually wrong and who is not lying. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to hear your thoughts about all I have shared on this video. So please go ahead and spill in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Relanship. Thanks for watching and have an amazing day. Bye.